This is Terrence Andre Banks with Information Age Financial Solutions, coming to you talking about the economy and particularly for the demographic of millennials. Came across this article from Zero Hedge. More 30-year-olds still living with their parents, study finds. We'll put the link in the side description. Titles always catch my attention, especially because we're living in an everything bubble and we're constantly being told that everything is fine and everything is moving on. And even though we see all the signs that it's not, we still tend to believe illusions. Young adults are now more likely to live with their parents than in any other living arrangement, according to new analysis of demographic data published by Axios, reflecting trends of the last half decade. And it's not just a college grad thing anymore, as even 30-year-old millennials are now more likely to stay at home while still paying off school loan debt and earning the same or less income than boomers. Axios concludes of what it is to be the 30 then and now, that in the mid to late 20th century, the American economy and culture were ripe for 30-year-old men, who, more than European and Japanese, typically landed well-paid careers, bought homes, and supported large families. But since then, getting ahead has become much harder. So what forces continue to steer people into their parents' basements? Well, that's an interesting put. Now, Zero Hedge has a lot of commercial advertising, so bear with me. My computer's a little slow today, especially when dealing with this site. So I'm going to keep scrolling here, get to the next part of this article. It's packed with so much information. Naturally, millennials probably took it for granted that they successfully imitate their parents and even surpass them in areas of establishing a financially secure family by their late 20s or early 30s, being debt-free while saving for retirement, and earning higher wages than their parents, but the numbers suggest that isn't happening. Well said. Though now comprising almost a quarter of the population, and as the largest demographic currently in the workforce, I'll repeat that again, they almost a quarter of the population, and as the largest demographic currently in the workforce, their median salaries are lower or the same as their prior generations. Yet, as Axios finds, the financial burdens they carry are heavier, limiting how much their lifestyle can mirror that of their parents. Here's what it is to be your parents 30 versus being 30 today by the numbers. Again, you see all the advertisements coming up. Makes it a little harder to scroll because they got so many playing here. How life has changed for the American aged 25 to 34. Love charts. They got a good aspect of here. You may not be able to see it. That's why I'm going to be able to put that link inside the description. But you got the charts here showing the median income, the median debt, 10 to 4 years of college. Closing these advertisements out. That versus actually college attendance, median income, household ownership from U.S. Census Bureau, cost of tuition from College Board, median debt from the Great American Debt Boom, 1948 to 2013. All dollars inflation adjusted 2016. So they're telling you the sources here where they got the information from. Again, the data suggests a break with prior American rites of passage, including marriage and childbearing. According to the same demographics, this break could slow economic growth. Men are more likely to earn less. In 1975, only a quarter of 25 to 34-year-old men made less than $30K per year, but that number rose to 41% in 2016. As a measure of upward mobility, 92% of 30-year-olds in 1997 earned more than their parents at the age, according to the 2000 study led by Ray Jarrett, Stanford economist. But those who were 30 in 2014 just half earned more. Shetty attributed most of this erosion to slower GDP growth and a change in the distribution of GDP favoring higher earners. GDP would have to rise by 6% a year to get the same impact, he said, and wealth would have to be distributed more evenly, in other words. Chetty suggested it has become much, much harder for younger, lower, and middle income workers to earn as much as the nation's growing wealth as they once did. In 2015, millennials set a 75-year record for highest percent of young adults living at home with mom. The percent of 18 to 34-year-olds living with parents and other family members hit a 75-year high. Look at this. Scroll down so you can take a look at it. But again, I'm putting a link inside the description so you can take a look at yourself. But you can see it here. Love charts. Notes 1900 to 1997 data are from the decennial census record, 1980 to 2015. Again, they have so much advertisement. As actually explains, for 30-year-olds today are living with their parents, paying more for college, and more debt, and less likely to be homeowners. I'm kind of skipping over some of the other details I had in, but I encourage you to look at it in your leisure, and definitely put that link in. Homeownership by age group, you can see that here. As the other drives of the trend as follows. The impact of significant student debt can be seen in lower marriage rates. That's definitely true. In 2017, 50% millionaires were never married. In 1985, when boomers were around the same age, only a third had never been married. Having fewer children. When boomers were in their 20s, the fertility rate was 2.48. 2.48 people, well beyond the replacement level of 2.1. Today it's just 1.76. And this is interesting fact here, because based on our economic system, you need people to replace that and work to support that baby boomer generation. And you see more boomers now working, in some cases past their age of 70, which is a whole different economic standpoint. And then the other large set of boomers who retire, hopefully they can sell their assets to that population, and it's not going to happen without a major economic downfall, so to make it more affordable for the largest population to then take over. Richard Jackson, president of the Global Agency, millennials are more risk averse than earlier generations at the same age. People 50 or even 25 years old didn't wait to be financially well established before starting a family. Now it's considered irresponsible not to. Well said. And that's not even talked about too, because it costs so much to have a family, have expenses, and live in that process. So everything has changed economically, and we're still led to believe in these old adages of taking on massive amounts of student debt just to begin to exist, and saving for retirement and for something 30 years from now. Again, I encourage you to take a look at the article. It just brings some light to what we're facing right now and how you need to do things differently. And until something really changes in terms of really the psychology and the mindset, we will not see a massive change in terms of the population. Again, we seem to be loving crashes before, and that's the only way things do change. So if this video has been any value to it, sorry for the skipping around and all these advertisements, but it's a worthwhile article. Take a look at it. I'll leave the link in the description. Subscribe, leave some comments, and until my next video, I'm out.